This video starts with question number 40. Question number 40, using f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. That's just the vertex form of a quadratic. Using the vertex form and the point 0, 3, find the function of the graph below. That's a kind of a strange way to ask the question, but 0, 3 is right here. And we also know, class, the vertex. The vertex is very important. This vertex is at -2, -1. Now remember, every time you get asked to find the function from a graph, you need two things: the vertex and any other point on the parabola. So I don't have to use 0, 3. I could use any one of these, but I'll tell you 0, 3 is actually an easy point to use because it has a 0 in it, which means a little bit less math for us. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to label these. The -2, -1, that is the vertex, which is h and k. Don't like green. Let's try a different color. This is h and k. This point on the parabola, the 0 is an x value and the 3 is a y value. You'll see why we did that in a moment. Let's follow our steps to finding the function. We're going to write the vertex form. F of x is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is find the vertex h and k and plug them in. We know that h is equal to -2 and k is equal to -1. So we're going to plug those in. So now we're going to rewrite f of x is equal to a. We don't know x yet. H is -2. We flip the sign when it goes into the equation. It turns +2, and the k value is -1. Step 3, take a known point on the parabola and plug it in for the x value and the y value. Well, the y value is 3. That goes here. The x value goes in the equation itself, and that is here. You do this enough times, class. If you would just practice these and do your homework assignments, you have enough practice to understand these steps. Hopefully the review will get you even further along in understanding. All right, all we got to do now is is solve for a, because that's the only variable, the only parameter we don't know. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's solve the value in parentheses. 0 plus 2 is 2. Next step is, let's go ahead and square that 2. So 2 squared is 4. That means this is going to be 4 times a minus 2. Next step is to move the 1 to the other side. We got to add 1 to both sides. 3 plus 1 is 4 equals 4a. We added the 1 to this side. That cancels the -1. And then all we do is divide both sides by 4. So a is equal to 4 over 4, which we can just go ahead and simplify as 1. So a is equal to 1. Now we can go ahead and write our function. We'll use the function right here because we already substituted h and k. So now we've got f of x is equal to 1, which is a, times x plus 2 squared minus 1. Notice we already had h and k here. If you want to go back to the parabola and find h and k again, that's fine. Just don't make a mistake on that. And there is the function that defines this parabola. If I made a table and made a whole bunch of points, that is the exact parabola that I would get. Okay, let's take a look at number 41. Same process. Find the function of the graph below. We need two things on this graph, class. The vertex, which I see is at -1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, +4, and 1 point on the parabola. Let's pick this x-intercept right here. I could pick any one of these. I'm going to pick the x-intercept. This is 1, 0. Okay, so let's remember, the -1 is the h value here, and the 4 is the k value. And for our known point, this will be our x value, and this will be our y value. Let's write the vertex form. Again, remember in our flip book we talked about why it's called the vertex form, because if you write a quadratic in this form, h and k tell you the vertex. The vertex is easy to find. Step number 2, we're going to plug in our h value and our k value. F of x is equal to a times x. Take a look at h. H is -1. We flip the sign and it turns to +1. Please don't forget that, or you will get an incorrect answer. Our k value is +4. Next step is to plug in the information from our known point. Our y value is 0. That goes in place of f of x. Our x value is 1. So we plug that in there. Let's go ahead now and solve. 0 is equal to a. 1 plus 1 is 2, so 2 squared plus 4. Now we're going to go ahead and square the 2, so we're going to get, let me change that color, we're going to get 0 is equal to 4a plus 4. Now we're going to have to move the 4 over to the other side, so we're going to subtract 4 from this side. That means we're going to subtract 4 from this side, so -4 equals 4a. And then I ran out of room here, class, but then you can find divide both sides by 4, and you're going to get a is equal to -4 over 4, which is equal to -1. So a is -1. Let's go ahead and write our new function. Remember, we're going to start with this right here because the h and k are already plugged in there. I've got f of x is equal to a, which is -1, times x plus 1 squared plus 4. And there is the function that describes this parabola. And take a look, it makes sense. The a value is negative, so we know the parabola is facing upside down. If you plug in all the x values on this parabola, you'll get all the correct y values to draw this parabola. I'll continue on next question in the next video.